This is a step-by-step guide for Ranni the Witch's quest. This guide will contain spoilers, and her quest is necessary to complete the Age of Stars ending. The first location you need to interact with Ranni is just after completing the Carrion Manor. Make your way to Ranni's Rise in the southwestern corner. Be aware there is a dragon here, however it will fly away after losing about 50% of its health. Don't worry, you will get a chance to defeat it later, and just what a majestic creature. Continue forward into the rise, lighting the side of Grace, and continue to the top to speak with Ranni. If you have progressed Rogier's questline, your initial interaction with her will be not so good. She will confirm some information for you, but she will ultimately shoo you away. In order to continue, you will need to go talk to Rogier at the Round Table Hold. Talking to Rogier, he will suggest you become one of Ranni's vassals. If you haven't progressed his questline at all, this step isn't necessary, and Ranni will suggest you become her vassal herself during your first interaction with her at a rise. Returning to Ranni her tower, you can now become her underling, and she will agree to your scheme. After completing her dialogue, you need to go back down the rise and exhaust the dialogue of E.G., Blide, and Celavis. You will have your fast travel locked and cannot leave the area around the rise until this is completed. While talking to them, Blide will mention he is going to search for Necron through the well in Limgrave. This is where we'll be heading next. Celavis also mentions that he is in a rise nearby and to pay him a visit if you want to be of actual use. This is a separate quest line that I will cover in a later video. However, you will still need to pay him a visit for more information shortly. After exhausting their dialogue, return to Ranni, and you are now free to roam around again. After talking with her, we will make our way down the Shifa River well, and I will meet you at the Shifa Riverbank side of Grace. From here, we will make our way to the location I've marked on my map. This is where Blide will be. There are some hostile enemies in the area, so I recommend taking care of them before interacting with Blide, so you don't get interrupted. While talking, he will admit he is stumped and suggest you go talk to Celavis while he investigates down here some more. After talking with Blide, return to Ranni's Rise and make your way to the southeast to locate Seducious' Rise. While talking to him, he will suggest you help him by slipping Nefeli Lu a potion. As mentioned before, this is a separate questline and I will cover in a later video. Just know that following it to completion will lock you out of Ranni's quest, although this can be rectified by using Celestial Dew at the Church of Vows. After accepting his task, he will then scoff at you asking for help, but will ultimately give you a letter of introduction to Selene, suggesting she knows the secret to Necron. Make your way to Selene in the Waypoint Ruins, exhaust her dialogue to discover that Ranni's fate is frozen due to Radon holding back the star's movement. We will take the information back to Blide, who is in the same location we left him. Really great job exploring, buddy. After telling him Selene's story, he will suggest we go defeat Radon, and mention there is a festival at the Red Main Palace. If you have visited here before, you will notice all the enemies are gone. If you did manage to make it all the way through Red Main Palace, you can talk to Jaren, who will mention something similar. Returning to E.G. and sharing Jaren's information will also start the festival. Or, you can also make your way to the Altus Plateau and rest at the side of Grace. This is the third way to start the festival, and these are the only 3 ways that I'm aware of. If there are more that I'm not aware of, please let me know in the comments. After making your way to Red Main Palace, you will find a few familiar faces. But go talk to Jaren, the dude wearing the jester pants shouting, "The festival is about to begin!" And he will then ask if you're ready. Saying yes will allow you to go face Radon. Make your way through this building and take the lift down. This will take you to the gate that transports you to the battle arena. This can be a very challenging boss fight, and you can summon numerous warriors in the field that will make this a lot easier. Once defeated, a meteor will fall over Limgrave, and you'll be locked out of fast travel until you talk to Blide, who will tell you where the meteor landed. After a recent update, the location is also marked on your map with a red circle. I will show you where the first few summon signs are at the beginning of the battle, but as the battle progresses, the locations will change. Also, when first appearing, he'll be firing arrows at you. You can just debris to avoid quite a few of these. As mentioned, once defeated, activate the Site of Grace and talk to Blide. Once you exhaust his dialogue, go ahead and make your way to Limgrave. I will show you the route starting at the Fort Hate west side of Grace. I don't remember there being any dialogue that specifically says what we're trying to find down here, just that this is where Ranni is trying to go to change her fate. We are looking for a key item called the Finger Slayer Blade, which is located deep in the Eternal City of Necron. It can be kind of hard to navigate this area, so I'll show you exactly the route that I take so that you can try to mimic it if you need help. After making your way down the hole, you are finally in the Eternal City of Necron. This area is huge and has a ton of loot. I'm not going to show you where everything is in this video, but I encourage you to explore to your heart's desire. If you want a full guide for this area, let me know in the comments, and I will get working on that as soon as I can. This giant boss door in front of us is the Mimic Tier boss fight. It will copy your equipment load, which can make this battle very challenging, or you can just cheese it by stripping and then re-equipping once it manifests. The choice is yours. Once defeated, you will get a larval tier and the silver tier mask. A lot of people keep thinking this is where you get the mimic tier summon, but that's just not true. The mimic tier action remains are in this area though. I'll point them out when we get close. I didn't actually grab them while recording this, so I apologize for that. The Mimic Tier Ashes are coming up in this room. Instead of following my route, jump through the window and head to the left. You will find a door locked by a stone sword key. Open it, defeat the Nox soldier inside, and the Mimic Tier Ashes will be yours. Even after being nerfed, this is still one of the strongest summons in the game. I suggest you take advantage of them, but that's just me. Once you have made your way to the Night Sacred Ground site of Grace, we are nearly at our final location. Make your way past this Valley of Silver Tears. Be careful, some of them do transform into rogue mimics, and the one at the end transforms into a troll. After defeating all of them, open the chest in the altar to receive the Finger Slayer Blade and a Great Ghost Glowwort. If you haven't sworn loyalty to Ranni yet, this chest will remain locked. After receiving the Finger Slayer Blade, return to Ranni in her rise and give her the blade. She will mention your service to her is done and then give you a Carrion inverted statue. She tells you her discarded flesh lies beyond the seal unlocked by it. This is important for a separate quest line, but not necessary to complete Ranni's. Instead, we will make our way to Renna's Rise, just to the north, after exhausting all of her dialogue and resting or warping into a site of grace. I warped to the Royal Moongrazing site of grace just because it is a little quicker.
You take it.
The entrance to this rise was previously blocked by a seal that was lifted by giving Ranni the Finger Slayer Blade. Make your way to the top of the rise to find a waygate. Be sure to stop after climbing this ladder to receive the Snow Witch set from a chest. This set does boost ice-based magic, and I just think it looks amazing. After making your way to the top, hit the waygate to be transported to a previously inaccessible area in the Umber River underground region. After being transported here, be sure to grab the item on this coffin to receive a miniature Ranni figure. This item is necessary to progress the questline. Rest of the nearby site of Grace, and you will notice an option to talk to the figure. Interact with it 3 times, and on the 3rd time it will respond, telling you to kill the baleful shadow which was sent to kill her. Make your way to the location that I have marked on my map to find the shadow. That looks strikingly similar to Blythe. Be wary while making your way to the location I marked on my map, as there is an abundance of enemies in this area. The malformed star you see here is an omen of what is still to come. There are also many dated ants, Nox soldiers, and electric soldiers. After reaching the Noxtella waterfall base inside of Grace, you are nearly to your target. I recommend using your bus prior to entering this tunnel, as the Baleful Shadow can be challenging. Also, be cautious of the basilisks in this tunnel, as they do have Death Blight. You can just run past them though.
O Shadow, thou art the last. Beautifully fought. My thanks. 'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned. Now I can finally stand before them. This is farewell, my dear. Tell Blythe and Iji I love them.
After defeating the Baleful Shadow, you will be rewarded with a discarded palace key. This is used to unlock the chest in the Raya Lucaria Grand Library. If you haven't already conquered this legacy dungeon, you will need to in order to complete Ranni's quest. Before heading to the library, I suggest continuing forward and down the lift to activate the Lake of Rot side of Grace on the other side, just so we can save a little bit of time when you come back here. As mentioned, take this key to the library, and upon opening the chest, you will receive the Dark Moon Ring. Now that we have the ring, let's return to the Lake of Rot and make our way toward the location I have marked on my map. This area is really annoying as you cannot raid torrent here, however, there are some switches on various platforms that do raise other platforms. You can also just use Flame Cleanse Me or Preserving Boluses to alleviate the rot buildup and sprint across the lake. Whichever way you choose, the choice is yours. I will speed this part up as it's not too interesting. Also be aware there's a boss in the middle of the Lake of Rot, however, I'm going to skip past it as it's not necessary for Ranni's questline. Once you have crossed the lake, you will be at the Grand Cloister side of Grace. Carefully make your way down and be wary of the shrimp people in this area. We are still making our way to the location I marked earlier. At that location we will find a coffin. I'm not sure if there's any specific dialogue option or note that suggests closing yourself in a coffin and launching yourself down a waterfall of rot, but that's what we're going to do. Now that we're here, as mentioned, rest in the coffin, and we'll be taken to an underground cavern. You will notice a large boss door in front of you. This is the location of one of the harder bosses in the game, Estelle Natural Born of the Void. Go ahead and use all of your buffs before entering, and be aware he will launch a laser beam at you when you enter. I've done this fight dozens of times, and I still get paid by it occasionally. After defeating Estelle, make your way to the not-so-nearby side of Grace and continue forward up the lift. It should be noted that if you have not yet acquired the Dark Moon Ring, there will be a barrier blocking your way forward. After reaching the top of the lift, you will be at the Moonlight Altar site of Grace. We are nearly at the end of this questline, so stick with me for a few moments longer, please. From the site of Grace, we're going to head to the northeast to the Cathedral of Mana Celeste. Just before reaching the door, that dragon that was guarding Ranni's rise will reappear for round 2. Go ahead and take it out if you want. I'm just going to run by it for now, however. After reaching the site of Grace, you will carefully make your way down a nearby hole. Once at the end, you will find Ranni by a seemingly freshly slain Two Fingers. Interact with her to give her the ring. After exhausting her dialogue, she will vanish after telling you that once all is done, you will see each other once more. Once she vanishes, there will be a Darkmoon Greatsword in her place. Congratulations! You have now successfully completed Ranni's questline. All that's left is to beat the rest of the game. Once you have defeated the final boss, instead of mending the Elden Ring, you will see a blue summon sign on the ground. Interact with this ring to summon Ranni and complete her ending. For everyone that stuck around this long, I really do appreciate you watching this whole video. It took me a while to make. If you found it helpful, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more Elden Ring content, and GG everyone.
Who would become my lord? Perhaps I needn't have warned thee. I am pleased, however. Thou art a fitting choice. I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall find mine order. I bid thee travel the path of the Lord, and once all is done, we shall see each other once more.